Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Daria, and today's yoga practice is called Inner Strength. So this class is on the challenging side. It's an intermediate to advanced level class. However, we are using the physical asana practice as a vehicle to fill the well of inner strength inside. The way that we can become stronger and feel more confident is through achieving things that once felt difficult, by facing challenges and overcoming them, moving through them. That's how the strength and the resilience are built over time. So, all of that being said, as always, I encourage you to find your version of challenging and take this at your own pace. All you'll need is yourself, a space to move, and maybe a couple of yoga blocks if you have them around, or books, whatever you've got. And whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get started today in child's pose, just taking a couple of moments to settle into this space. So widen your knees, let the toes stay together, and then walk forward until either your forehead or your chest and your chin come to the mat. And begin right away to deepen your breath. Start filling up the base of your spine and carry it all the way through the crown of your head. And then let the exhale wash back down the back line of your body. Elongating and spreading the breath through every fiber. Start to notice how you're feeling today. And start to come into a more internally focused space here, letting go of any distractions from your day so far or anything that needs to happen later on. Try to root into the present by observing sensations. Begin to consider where you experience strength in your body. What is the source of internal strength for you? And can you correlate that to a specific region of the body? Maybe it's very localized. Maybe it's just a tiny point where you can feel some strength. Or maybe it's like a whole arm or just one toe or whatever it is. Start to breathe into that, like you're sparking the fire of strength to begin to spread through the full body. Know that at any time through this practice, you can take a clearing breath, let go of some heat, or come back to child's pose to take a little rest. Sometimes inner strength is really quiet. Actually, not what we might think of as the expression of strength at all, but that can sometimes be the strongest choice. Take one last breath here. Big inhale through the nose. Activate Ujjayi. Exhale through the nose. Let's rise to hands and knees, tabletop position. Shoulders aligned over the wrists. Spread your knees, hips distance apart. From here, anchoring into your palms, step the right toes to the back of the mat. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, activate right glute and right hamstring to lift your leg up in line with your hips. Inhale to lower, just touching your toes to the mat, and exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, hug your belly button to your spine. Inhale to lower. Exhale and lift. Try to imagine that you're moving through something with resistance. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So it's a little more difficult to lift the leg than it might be with just the body weight. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Just two more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift it high. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, rise. Good. Begin to kick your heel in, curl it in so that the foot is stamped up toward the sky. Right ankle is very flexed. We'll begin to take little pulses up toward the sky, activating the right glute. So you can go slow at first to try to really isolate that engagement in the right glute muscle, and then begin to pulse up a little bit more quickly. Keep your hip bones squaring down toward the earth. We're just here for 10, for 9, 8, 7, stamp the sky with right foot, 5, 4, claw into finger pads, Last 2, last 1, good. You can tap the right toes down behind you. Imagine that your left shin is like a kickstand. We're gonna swivel to face the right side of the mat, the long edge. Reach the right arm up to the sky, and you can dig the knife edge of right foot down, press the pelvis a little forward. Modified side plank. Now take an inhale here, reach forward through the right fingertips, bicep beside your ear, then hover the right leg away from the earth. Squeeze left side body, expand right side. Inhale. As you exhale, can you draw right elbow and right knee to connect? Good. Inhale, reach it long, expand. Exhale, contract, draw in. Last time here. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, hold and squeeze. Now, we're gonna step the right foot all the way forward to the top of the mat. So pivoting on the left knee, spinning back to face forward. How softly can you step the right foot down? We're in a low lunge. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. The fingertips reach toward the sky. And then as you exhale, bring both of your palms down inside of the right foot. Start to shift the hips back. Hands should be shoulder distance apart. Now here, press into the earth so much that you can hover the right foot away from the earth. We're gonna glide it all the way out to the side and then around to the back again. And softly re-anchor the right knee to the mat, finding tabletop. And we'll take some cat-cows between sides. As you inhale, lift the tip of your tailbone toward the sky, widen your sitting bones, soften the low belly, then engage low back, middle back. Curl your heart forward and lift your gaze. As you exhale, the tailbone lowers, the spine begins to round, and the whole front body is closing in and up. Ribs come together, head drops. Inhale for cow, stretch forward. And exhale, round curl. Beautiful. Come back to neutral in the spine, and then let the left toes go back behind you. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, activate back line of left leg to lift the leg up in line with the hips. Inhale, we lower, toes graze the mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, keep pressing into palms. Keep right toenails pressing down to stabilize. And let your breath follow the movement. The inhale is the lowering action and the exhale is the lift. Imagine there's something a little bit heavy on the back of the left heel that you're trying to reach toward the sky. And just here for 3 more. Last 2, inhale. Exhale, and 1. And pausing at the top with the leg floating, we're gonna draw the left heel in as the ankle flexes. The sole of the foot is reaching toward the sky. Little pulses here. Draw your low belly in and up as if it's pulling toward your heart, keeping the front body really, really active, core connected. And you can start to go a little faster here. We'll stay for 10, for 9, for 8, 7. Feel the fire. 5, 4, last 3, last 2, and 1. Good. Drop the left toes softly down behind you. We're gonna pivot to face the left side of the mat, modified side plank on the second side. So the right shin can go back behind you, root into knife edge of left foot, stretch the left fingertips up toward the sky, and then press your hip bones a little forward. On your next inhale, sweep the left arm to the top of the mat. Float the left leg at the back of the mat. Inhale to elongate. Exhale, draw in left knee, left elbow. Can you actually connect them? Inhale, reach long. 2 more times here. Exhale, squeeze it together, draw it in. Inhale, extend. And exhale, pull everything together. Now we're gonna step all the way to the top of the mat. So the left hip revolves, and we're spinning torso forward, left foot to step as softly as possible down. Try not to put the left palm down and just inhale, reach right up into Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, both palms come down inside of the left foot. So you can walk the foot a little wider. We're shifting the hips back. It's almost like a half splits. Press down, float the left leg up, and then glide it out to the side. Toes go all the way around to the back of your mat. And then we'll find ourselves back in tabletop. 2 rounds of cat-cows here, riding breath. Inhale through the nose to arc the spine. Exhale through the nose, dome between the shoulders. Inhale, actively pull your hands back towards your thighs. And exhale, drive down, curl in. Find your way all the way back to a neutral spine. We'll tuck the toes and press it back, downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here to play, to explore. Pedal the feet, take whatever you need. Drive down into the space between the thumb and the index finger. Can you micro bend your knees and then take the tip of your tailbone higher toward the sky as the heart reaches for your thighs? Good. Let's take some spinal waves, but we'll add a push-up here. The push-up is optional, so feel free to skip it if you don't want it. Inhale, lift your heels, round forward to high plank, hugging front body to back body. As you exhale, slowly lower chaturanga for 3, for 2, super controlled for 1, elbows hug the ribs. Inhale, press back up to plank for 3, for 2, yes, for 1, and then we ripple it back to downward facing dog. And we'll just do that 2 more times. You can also let the push-up be a little quicker if you'd like to lessen the intensity. Inhale, the heels lift, we round forward, articulating through the spine like a wave. Exhale, lower chaturanga for 3, for 2, so strong, for 1. Inhale, press back up for 3, for 2, for 1. Big exhale to glide back downward facing dog. Last time. Adding a little challenge. Inhale, ride the breath forward. Exhale, lower. 5, 4, for 3, claw the mat. For 2, for 1, press back up. For 5, for 4, you can do it. Just 3, last 2, and 1, and we go back. Downward facing dog. Awesome. On your next inhale, root into the left toes and we'll sweep the right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Then stack right hip over the left. Take a moment here to find circles with the right knee. They can be big and broad. Try to make them feel free and easy. We're just opening the right hip. Reverse the direction of your circles and keep driving into both palms evenly. Inhale, square the hips, close the ribs, lift the right toes high. Exhale, lift the left heel, hollow your core, and step right foot super softly between your palms. Finding warrior 1 in the legs, turn the left toes out slightly, sink the left heel down to the mat. As you inhale, we'll rise all the way up to stand, pressing evenly into both feet. Take a couple of breaths here. Can you sink deeper? Can you dig deeper into the foundation of your feet as you lengthen your side bodies, cinching at the waist, drawing your heart forward and high. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 3. Launch forward into the right foot. Let's bring the palms to heart center as the left toes extend back behind, creating like a T shape with the body. Now, you can stay here, palms in heart center, or for a bit of an extra challenge, extend the arms forward, biceps beside your ears. Take an inhale to elongate in every direction. As you exhale, Shiva squat, but don't bring the arms down, just draw them to heart center. So the right knee crosses to the outside of the left shin and we sink deeply into the right leg, just a one-legged squat here. Inhale, reach long. Warrior 3, extend the arms forward, left toes back. Exhale, squat, deep bend, dig into that right glute muscle. One more time here, always okay. If you need, bring the fingertips down to blocks and take the action this way. Inhale, warrior 3. Exhale, Shiva squat, sink deeply, hold. We're gonna pulse here, up and down. Super subtle movement in the right leg just for 10, For 9, steady your gaze, focus on one point. Last 6. For 5, squeeze your palms together. For 3, for 2, for 1, extend long, warrior 3, inhale. Exhale, let's rise all the way up to stand, one-legged Tadasana. So don't put the left foot down, pull the left knee in and up toward your chest. And then on the exhale, let's press it forward. Left foot forward, all of your palms, all 2 of them, forward as if there's an imaginary wall that you could press into. Charge through the left thigh and the right thigh. Inhale here. And exhale, slowly lower the right foot all the way down to the mat. Inhale to grow long, gaze up towards your thumbs. On the exhale, we'll fold all the way forward. Big surrender. Just one moment here to drop your spine, drop your head. Inhale, weight your heels, ripple through the spine all the way up to Utkatasana chair. Sinking low and back into the heels, bending the knees deeply. Now, create a cow shape in the spine, arcing back through the butt, reaching the heart high. And then on the exhale, just round, curl into yourself, reach the fingers forward. Inhale. And exhale. I'm getting very tangled up in this plant over here. One more time. Inhale, arc the heart. Exhale. Good. Inhale, rise all the way up to chair pose. Let's draw the feet together as we do so this time, and we're gonna lift the heels. So see if you can lower them any amount. Might be a little baby amount, maybe you're all the way up onto the very balls of your feet. And let's slowly lower, steady your gaze. Biceps stay beside your ears. Core is hugging in, rib cage is closed. Sinking down for 3, for 2, for 1, so the heels come all the way to the hips. Reach forward, widen your knees. And can you just sink all the way down to a seat without using your hands? Or maybe you do use your hands, and that's great too. Right away, Navasana boat pose. Reach forward with the fingertips. Maybe the knees are bent. Maybe straighten through the legs. Inhale here. As you exhale, just drop your right toes all the way down to the mat. Hover them there. And then we'll lift it back up. Inhale. Exhale, left leg, left toes lower down to skim the mat. And then lift. 3 more each side. Inhale, lower right. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, lower the left. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Last 2 times, maybe the arms reach and extend all the way up overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So close. You got it. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, we're going to stay just for a little bit longer. Grab for either the backs of your knees or your feet, your ankles, and you're going to pull the thighs toward the heart, elevating the spine as you do so. Maybe reaching for the sides of the feet or the heels. Big hamstring stretch here, reaching the heart toward the toes. Inhale. Exhale, draw in. Good. You can release your ankles down to the mat, cross them, plant the palms, and we'll step it back to a high plank pose. So from here, in high plank, take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the elbows and simultaneously glide the hips up and back. We're finding dolphin. Let's play with that transition 2 more times. Inhale, the heels lift. We're gonna come forward back to the high plank with the elbows lifted, and the exhale will go back to dolphin. Elbows down. Inhale, magnetize elbows toward each other as you shift back forward to high plank. Index finger mountains drive down. Exhale, back to dolphin. Good. And now let's just stay and breathe in dolphin for a couple of rounds. Walk the feet in. And then walk the feet all the way back out to a forearm plank. Let's hold here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Create length as you stay. Breathe into the shoulders. And press down and forward into your forearms. And activate the low belly. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale all the way back to dolphin. Okay, if you need a break, always come down, take a moment, and then get back into it. We're just gonna play with little hops. So coming up high onto the ball of the left foot, lifting the right leg high to the sky, and just shifting the weight forward and back. So the toes might not even leave the earth. If they do, maybe it's just a really subtle little hop. Little hop. Little hop. If you like, you can always come to a wall to practice this. And then maybe go a little bigger, exaggerate. And if you like, you can float up to a forearm stand. Play just for a couple more breaths. And whenever you're ready, come down to your knees. We'll shift the hips back to the heels. Just take a moment here, bringing the palms face up on your thighs. Let all of that go. Close your eyes and drop. You can take a sigh, any kind of clearing sound or breath. And we're just going through this sequence once on each side, so we're already halfway through. So that's the good news. Okay, when you're ready, blink your eyes open and we'll find our way back to downward facing dog. Tuck your toes and lift the hips up and back. Take a big inhale to stretch the left leg high, three-legged down dog, then stack the hip and bend the knee. Roll through the hip, taking big circles with the knee. Keep a micro bend in right knee and drive your left armpit down toward the earth to keep the shoulders square. Reverse the direction of your circles. Then square the hips, kick the left toes high, inhale. Exhale, step through to the top of the mat, left foot forward. Right toes turn out to 45-ish degrees and the right heel sinks. Align your stance, and then as you inhale, scoop the left sitting bone down towards your heel to sweep the fingertips high. Dig into all four corners of both of your feet. Try to feel equal weight bearing down in both legs, both feet. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll launch forward, warrior three. The palms can be in prayer first as the right toes glide up and back behind you. Square your hip bones down toward the earth. Plug your belly to your spine. As you inhale, stay in prayer or reach the arms forward, biceps by your ears. Inhale here. Exhale, floating Shiva squat, palms to prayer, right knee crosses to the outside of the left leg, and we sink deeply down. Always okay, hands to blocks or the floor if that's better. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, sink, Shiva squat, steady, find your balance, plug all four corners of left foot down. One more here. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale and sink. Okay, we stay and we find pulses just for 10, for 9, for 8. Big toe and pinky rooting just as equally as each other. For 5, for 4, for 3. You got it. Last 2. And 1. Inhale, reach long, warrior 3. Exhale, we'll rise up to stand, one-legged Tadasana. Right leg hovers and then the knee pulls up, fingertips draw overhead. Exhale, press forward, right heel and both hands. Take an inhale to squeeze your thighs. On the exhale, we'll float it all down. The right leg comes to the earth, the fingertips rise. Lift your gaze. And on the exhale, fold forward. Cast your heart down toward your toes. Drop your head. Inhale, sink deep into a chair. The knees bend, the fingertips stretch up toward the sky. Then create an arc effect through your heart. And exhale to curl into yourself, like spinal waves here. Inhale. Exhale, just one more time. Inhale here, let this feel really good. And exhale. Inhale, sink into your lowest chair, this time drawing the feet together. And we're gonna lift the heels again, rising high to the balls of the feet maybe, or just a little lift. Exhale, super slow lower, like you're riding an elevator down for 5, for 4, For 3, squeeze the inner thighs. For 2, and 1, good. Arms go forward, sink your butt all the way down to the mat. And this time we're gonna roll down to lie on our backs. Core work, but a little bit different. Eagle crunches. So the right leg will thread over the top of the left. You can either hook the right toes behind or not, totally up to you. And then right arm crosses under the left, maybe hands together in front of your forehead. Take an inhale here, press the back of your head and your sacrum to the mat. Reach your elbows and your knees away from each other, but keep the toes and the hands floating. Now, as you exhale, the crunching action is a drawing in at the low belly, pulling the elbows and the knees toward each other, maybe they touch. Inhale, reach long, keep the head and the shoulder blades floating. Exhale, curl in. Inhale. Exhale. Can you squeeze your inner thighs together? Inhale. Exhale, drive belly button to spine, keep low back pressing to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Last 3. Open mouth exhales are okay if you need. For 2. And 1. Squeeze, hold. For 3. For 2, knees and elbows press to each other. For 1. Unwind. Good. Open the arms out wide to a cactus. You can drop the feet down and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side, right and left. Little release. Other side. Left leg crosses over the right. Stay here, or you can hook toes behind the calf. Left elbow threads under the right. Palms together. Take an inhale. Just 8 crunches here. Exhale, squeeze to the midline. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale. Exhale. Can you dig deeper into your core? Inhale. Exhale. This is the time to tap into that inner strength. It's in you. You can do it. Inhale. Exhale. Just a little more. Last 3. Exhale. Last 2. And 1. Extend. And then squeeze in tighter, unwind and release. Feet to the floor, windshield wiper the knees side to side, right to left. We'll rock and roll the spine, the length of the spine, so you can grab behind the thighs or the shins or calves and rock up and down a couple of times. Should feel nice and fun, nice and playful. And then cross at your ankles, plant your palms to the top of the mat, and you're finding the high plank. Playing with the transition here. Inhale. Exhale, elbows come down, pressing it back to the dolphin pose. As you inhale, lift your heels, shift back forward to high plank, magnetize your elbows to the midline, squeeze your core. Exhale, glide it back, dolphin. Just one more time, keep it playful. Inhale. And exhale, shift it back. Okay, now we have some time to play with dolphin, play with little hops. I'm gonna actually slide my mat a little closer to this wall. This is my side that feels a little bit scarier with the forearm stand. So please take whatever you need. Also, child's pose is there if that's what you need. And with the forearms down, pull them toward each other constantly. This time the right foot's gonna be anchored if you're taking the little hops, and the left foot's gonna lead, kicking up toward the sky. We're trying to get the hips over the shoulders. So see how much you can kick. Even if it's a little bit scary, what's the worst that can happen, right? And maybe you float for a bit, or maybe not today. Whatever, let go of any idea of what it needs to be or what the outcome should be. When you're finished playing, go ahead and find your way back to the seated position on your knees so the hips can sit back to the heels. The palms can face up on the thighs. Close your eyes and just drop it all. And we're gonna play with just one more little transition pose, something we already did, but this is the less modified version. So blink your eyes open, plant your palms down, find your way back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky, then stack your hip, bend your knee, and take wild thing. So the right toes cross all the way back behind you, root the right toes down, and then you can kind of melt your pelvis to the floor and ripple through your spine as you expand the front body, stretching the right arm all the way up and back. And try to really root your toes. If they're not anchored, can you bend into the knees to get them more anchored? One more inhale. Now as you exhale, spin to face the side of the mat. We're gonna root into all four corners of the left foot, pick up the right knee high, draw it towards your elbow. Just like we did on the knees before in the modified side plank, we're gonna step all the way forward to the top of the mat, softly landing the right foot down for 3. For 2, you got it. For 1, yes. And now let's take a nice and sweet half pigeon. So plant your palms, lift up the foot again, angle the shin where you'd like it to be, anywhere between 45 and 90 degrees. By where you'd like it to be, I mean where is comfortable for you. Curl the left toes under, tuck them, and then draw your fingertips in, taking a moment here to set yourself up with the hips and the pelvis nice and square to the top of the mat. As you're ready, on an exhale, sweetly fold forward. If you have a block, it can feel nice to let your head rest down to the block. And as the head rests, allow the shoulders, the back of the neck, all the way down the arms and the hands to also rest. And breathe into the outer hip. Maybe feeling it into the glute as well. We've done quite a bit of glute work actually in this practice. And try to just drop. And let anything that you don't need be released on the stream of the exhale. Good. Press down, rise back up. You can release the block, plant your palms, and we'll just glide right away back into downward facing dog. Second side, inhale to stretch the left leg high to the sky, stack your hip, bend your knee, and then flip all the way to wild thing. The left toes softly land behind you, and then a big front body expansive posture. Press your hips to the sky, dig down into the right palm, and stretch your left fingertips forward. And feel a big lengthening action. Inhale. Begin to revolve. Turn your right toes to face the long edge of the mat. You can bend the knee to really root the right foot, and then pick up the left toes like you're plucking them from the earth. Draw left knee and left elbow to touch. Or if they don't touch, just keep that idea, that intention. And we're gonna softly step left foot to the top of the mat for 3. For 2, for 1, maybe it's not so graceful, that's okay. You can come onto fingertips and then just crawl your foot out to the other side. The knee is behind left wrist. Half pigeon prep. Inhale here. And on the exhale, folding it forward. Again, block under the head, or you can bring the forehead to your thumbs or to fists that are stacked. As you stay and breathe here, and feel all of the quiet strength inside of you, all of that quiet confidence that is slowly built over time, over the course of your life, over all of the challenges that you've faced, all of the difficult things that you've encountered and been able to move through. All of the skills that you learned, everything that once felt hard, that now might be much more intuitive. Or maybe it's still hard, but it's hard in a more fulfilling way, in a different way, that bolsters confidence and inner strength. And press back up to the palms, walk the palms in, tuck the right toes, and we'll step it back, downward facing dog. Sink your knees to the mat, and then your sitting bones will come down to a seat, swinging the legs forward and around. You can stamp the soles of the feet down, and then we'll roll it back to lie on our backs. One vertebra at a time, go slow for 5. For 4, can you keep your big toes down? For 3, hollow core. For 2, and 1, all the way back, head drops. And then pull your heels in so that they're relatively close to your sitting bones, maybe a couple fingers distance in between. Option here. We're gonna take bridge first and then move into wheel. The wheel is optional. So press into your feet, magnetize your inner thighs, and then begin to roll up one vertebra at a time, starting with the tailbone. Like you're pressing your hips and your pelvis up toward the sky. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. If you're staying in bridge, you can interlace the hands. Now from here, for wheel, you can plant the hands beside your head, fingers facing towards your shoulders. Press down and rise to the crown of your head, then magnetize the elbows. Affirm your stability, and then rise all the way up into wheel. And it doesn't need to be anything. It doesn't need to look like anything. Try to feel like it's rooted in strength, like it's rooted into the fingers, the toes, the hands, and the feet. And then the expansion is coming up from that strength through the heart space. One more breath here, in through the nose. Exhale and roll back down the spine, coming out just the way that you came in. If you're in bridge, you can also lower one vertebra at a time, all the way to the mat. And draw your knees in towards your chest. Let's just roll around the base of the spine, massage the low back. And then press your feet to the sky. We'll take happy baby, last shape. Draw the knees to the outer edges of your rib cage. The elbows can come inside of the shins, and you're pressing the tailbone toward the earth. Flex the feet. Create an action of pulling down on the feet with the hands, but pressing up on the hands with the feet so that they're moving in equal but opposite ways. Last breath here. Good. Draw in, hug into all of the strength, all the fire inside of you, all the effort here. Wrap your forearms around your shins. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, surrender into a super warm, super cozy savasana. And let this be your space, your time to process, your time to absorb. So give yourself this time. Soften everything. Eyes melt to the back of your skull. Back body melts into the earth. I'll wake you up in just a little bit. Begin to bring life back into your body. Start by noticing all of the warming effects of your practice, all the tingly, simmery, buzzy sensations. And then open the palms so you can point and flex gently the feet. Roll the ankles, roll the wrists. And then extend into a long body stretch, feeling all of your length as the toes point forward and the fingers go back. And exhale, let's just soften and drop one more time. Back out to that wide Shavasana. And then super lazily roll to a side. Pick a side and drop there. Head down. And press into the earth and rise up to a seat. The eyes can stay closed or you can soften the gaze. Hips get really heavy. Let the knees fall wide. Spacious, open seat. The collarbones are broad. Take a moment here to acknowledge your body and your mind for showing up for this practice today. Remember and know that the strength, the inner strength, really comes from the practice itself, not from any physical posture, not from staying and holding a forearm stand, but from the practice itself, from showing up for the challenge and facing it. Draw your palms to meet in front of your heart. Feel all of your strength inside. Take an inhale into it. And an exhale to share it. Big open mouth release. Then bring thumbs to third eye. And let's bow forward. Namaste. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Certainly a challenging one, so I hope that it felt challenging in a good way. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling. But I hope that you're doing really well and continuing to cultivate your inner strength both on and off the mats. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can do that down below. That really supports me and you can be part of this yoga community here on YouTube. But I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye.